Owning a home used to feel impossible. My wife and I were staring down retirement, looking at the numbers and wondering how we'd ever make it work. A mortgage, out of the question. Traditional home financing, a building, would be way too expensive. We needed something different, and that's when we saw it. Sitting on a sales lot, something most people would never look twice at, a storage building. And that little shed, it became our debt-free dream home. Stick with me because today I'm showing you exactly how we did it and how you can too. Today I'm taking you through the journey of how we did it. From the moment we decided to take the plunge, through the building process, to the lessons we learned along the way. So grab your coffee and stick around. This isn't just a story about building a house. It's a story about building a life. Picture this. You're driving past the storage lot, glancing at all those sheds lined up like little houses, when a thought hits you, what if one of these could be a house? That's exactly what happened to me. We were nearing retirement, and the numbers just weren't working in our favor. Taking on a mortgage, no way. Traditional home building, out of reach for us. But a storage building, that was different. The price was right, and the simplicity was exactly what we needed. Could this work? We were about to find out. I'd always been fascinated by unconventional housing ideas. Tiny homes, shipping containers, you name it. But one day, I drove past a lot full of portable storage buildings, and something clicked. I realized these weren't just sheds. They were blank canvases. The price was right, and the simplicity was perfect for our needs. We could customize it. We could take our time, and we could pay for it as we went. That building wasn't just a shortcut, it was a solution to living the way we wanted. Simply, affordably, and without debt. I had watched a ton of videos of other folks who had built a shed to home conversion, and I knew it could be done, but a lot of those videos were pretty fancy by the time they were finished. And I was worried about being able to do what they had done. I'm not much of a carpenter, especially not a finished carpenter. I can throw some boards together and make a quick project here or there. But to tackle a whole house that we plan to live in the rest of our lives, well, I ain't gonna lie, that made me a little nervous. But I really didn't see a better way given our circumstances at the time. So we leapt into it. We found a nice sized storage shed that was fairly cheap for the size. This was before 2020 and prices hadn't skyrocketed yet. So our building, it had sat on the lot for 6 months without being bought. So they were willing to sell it a little cheaper than its list price. We paid $13,000 for it. I think initially it was priced at $16,000. Like I said, it was on the lot for 6 months. It was their biggest size. It's 16 by 52, and it didn't have any windows on 3 sides of it. And that suited us fine because I planned on putting my own windows in anyway. The windows that usually come in these shed buildings are kind of cheap and single pane deals, and I wanted better windows that would be good for insulation. So we jumped in. We bought it with their rent to own offer. I think we paid about $1,500 down, and the payments were around $550 a month. So now we had a good start for our little homestead, but buying the shell was the easy part. The real challenge, turning this empty box into a home without going broke or making any major mistakes. And speaking of mistakes, if there's one thing I wish I'd have done differently, it's how we handled the foundation. Let me show you why. This is where we should have planned ahead. The first thing we should have tackled was the foundation. Now, I'll be honest, we went with concrete blocks to save money. But in hindsight, this is an area where I wish we'd invested more. I'll share why later. But once the building was delivered, we got to work insulating the walls and ceilings. Insulation is one of those steps that you can't skip, especially if you're planning to live in the space year round. I knew from researching and watching all those other people convert their sheds that insulation and ventilation was a big deal and could be a huge problem if not done right. I set about figuring out how I was going to insulate our house and still maintain good ventilation so we wouldn't have a problem with moisture buildup and the dreaded mold problem that some people have. I decided on a method that I thought might work, and I'm happy to say that it's been 3 years now, and we haven't had any problems with moisture or ventilation. Now, you can always improve your insulation efficiency, but ours turned out to be pretty well insulated. I'm planning a video on a more in-depth look at some of the methods that I figured out and what has worked for us. I wasn't really ready for the next step, running electricity in a shed that was never designed to be a home. That's where things got really tricky. I watched every DIY video I could find, and I consulted with several of my buddies that know way more about electricity than me to make sure that I was doing it safely. It took a little time, a lot longer than I thought it would, but I wanted to make sure that it was done right. The electrical is one part you definitely don't want halfway done. Then we moved on to framing the interior walls and adding flooring. This part was fun because it started to feel like a home. But let me tell you, paying for materials in cash was a little tough. We had to do everything in phases. We'd buy a load of lumber, work for a couple of weeks, and then wait until payday to move forward. It was frustrating at times, but it also taught us something important. Slowing down lets you think through decisions, avoid mistakes, and truly appreciate the progress that you are making. We were determined to build this tiny home debt-free, but let me tell you, it tested our patience. We had to make every dollar stretch, and there were plenty of things I wish I'd have known ahead of time. Here are some lessons that could save you thousands. Lesson number 1, don't skimp on the foundation. Our building has shifted over time because we used concrete blocks instead of a full slab. We were anxious to get started finishing the building, and so we just let the shed movers set it up the way they normally would set up a shed, on concrete blocks. Now, using concrete block piers is not necessarily a bad thing, but the problem is, first of all, they really don't put enough piers under our building, and they didn't level the building as precisely as I would have liked. It's fixable, but it's been a headache that I would have rather avoided. If I could do it over, I'd have waited and saved enough money to pour a concrete slab or at least install proper piers. If nothing else, I would suggest if you're thinking about converting a shed to a home like this one, you should take your time and get this right before the building is delivered. At the very least, go check out your building on the lot, measure and figure out exactly where your concrete block piers are going to be, and pour you a square footer for those blocks. But as it is, now I'm stuck with going back and fixing the problem. But you know what? It's just another opportunity for me to learn and take care of something myself. It ought to be interesting. Maybe I'll go back and make a video as I'm fixing it. Lesson 2 is plan your budget with some flexibility, because no matter how carefully you plan, there's always going to be some unexpected expenses. For us, it was extra materials that we didn't think about needing. It was buying tools that we found out later we'd have to do this thing or that thing, and high expense items like water heaters, the shower enclosure, things like that. So keeping some wiggle room in your budget will save you a lot of stress and a lot of headaches. Lesson 3 is you've got to embrace the DIY mindset. Building this home taught me skills I never thought that I'd need. From wiring to plumbing, I learned as I went. If you're nervous about tackling something, start small. Do your research, and remember, it doesn't have to be perfect to be functional. Obviously, some things are much more important than others, like electricity. Don't go messing around with electricity if you don't know what you're doing. You could burn down your building, or worse, you could kill yourself. If you don't know how to do it, that's okay. Everybody has their skills and talents. Just admit that this is one area that you can't save money on. Take a little more time, save up to pay a professional. There is no shame in that at all. But beyond the technical lessons, this project taught us something even bigger, something that shaped how we live and think about life. Building this tiny home wasn't just about creating a place to live. It was about creating a life that felt honest and who we are. We don't have a mortgage hanging over our heads. We don't have a house full of things we don't need. But what we do have is a space that feels peaceful, cozy, and it's ours. It's our little piece of the world. We own it free and clear, and that is the best feeling, y'all. And you know what? The best part isn't even the house itself. It's the freedom that it's given us. The freedom to spend time with family, to do our hobbies, and just live with a little less debt. If you're dreaming of building your own home, I hope this story inspires you to take that first step. It's not easy, but it is worth it. So now you know our journey. But if you're thinking about converting a shed yourself, there are some big questions you need to ask yourself. Make sure you have your heart and your mind set on going this way before you start. because it could save you thousands. And if you want to see more about why we chose a shed conversion, click here and I'll see you over there.